Tesla is hiring back some of its recently laid off Supercharging team. That's according to reporting from Bloomberg. This comes after the EV maker laid off 10% of its global workforce last month, including some of the EV charging team members. To break down what this means for the company, we've got Craig Irwin, ROTH Capital Senior Research Analyst. Craig, thanks for coming in studio. We appreciate it. So I want to just start on the U-turning that we've seen here. What do you make of this pivot back for Elon Musk?
Yeah, he tends to make kind of absolutist decisions and then vacillate around like whoops, right? Whoops. So they have a capital program they need to execute on. Deliveries might not be the trajectory they planned for or hoped for this year, but there's a lot of money that's been invested in expanding the Supercharger network, and they're basically going to be giving a big gift away to industry unless they execute on supporting customers like Wawa, et cetera, with their build-out plans.
Do you think they will be able to do that?
Oh, they can definitely. They have the capital, they have the capability, they've spent the money. They need to have the staff there to support the completion of these projects.
Is there any headwind for Tesla, though, on the likes of BP, who had tried to kind of sniff around the real estate that they had potentially given up, and now Tesla's back, or is BP just?
So the headwinds for Tesla haven't really been discussed a whole lot in the charging side. So Tesla was denied from the direct procurement in New York State, and there have been several other instances where they've had zero share in some of the NEVI money. So Mr. Musk has made some political mistakes in the way he's been out there fairly aggressive with rhetoric, and it's come back to bite him on the capital access side or the support side for the growth of his EV charging network. I'm sure that's driving his frustration with the business, but Tesla's a great company. They have the best network out there. It's going to stay the best if they don't invest any more dollars right now for a while, but it makes economic sense for them to bring people back.
Craig, just more broadly speaking, right now, the next couple of months for Tesla, what is that going to look like? Because it seems like it's nothing new when it comes to Musk. Obviously, he's a man of making headlines. I think if you are invested in this stock, you're pretty used to some of the turmoil that has played out over the last several months, several quarters, really several years. But the next couple of months could potentially be critical here when we're talking about the fact that obviously inflation is still a real issue in the middle of a pricing war. You have lots of questions just about sluggish demand. So where does that then position Tesla?
So they got to show they can get growth going again, right? When you decline 7-8%, you've got to actually show that you can get to positive growth again. That's not particularly easy. They're going to have to cut price. They're going to have to be aggressive, and they're going to have to lay out a path to the mini car, this cyber taxi, robotaxi, whatever it's going to be. Where's the growth going to come from? They've got a lot of work to do with investors.
How much do you just said that they're going to have to lower prices again?
Oh yeah.
By how much?
I wouldn't be surprised to see another cumulative 20% price cuts in the next year.
Then what kind of pressure is that going to put on margin?
Margin will keep going down. I mean, I don't think margins are going up anytime soon, right? They're going to need another vehicle platform to actually start driving margins again. They're going to have to innovate their way out of this mess. They have car company problems and tech company aspirations, and they need to focus on being a car company and solving the car company problems.
Well, then what product do they need to come first? What would potentially be a saving day for Tesla right now?
So the one they should have launched literally 4 or 5 years ago is the mini car, right? If they'd have launched it, the supply chain would be in place for them to have, mid to high teens margins, right? They could have been building it in Germany or in India, and they're just late. And this vacillation around where and when. Obviously, Tesla decided that Texas is not the location. That makes sense, right? Texas is not where you want to build a small car that's really best sold in Europe. You want to build it in Europe, or you want to build it into another market like in India that will supply in. There are so many problems they have to fix at Tesla right now. For them to be going through significant 10 to 20% headcount cuts right now is problematic. They need their best people working hard.
Craig, I'm curious how you're looking at the tariff news that we got from the Biden administration today when it comes to the tariffs that they're imposing on Chinese-made EVs. Clearly doesn't have a huge impact here today, but I'm curious, just as we think about the broader landscape, the competition right now between U.S. automakers and Chinese automakers, and what exactly that could look like 5 to 10 years from now when we're focused on those cheaper EVs.
Yeah, so
can the U.S. automakers compete?
Here in the U.S., we tend to be quite dismissive of Chinese EVs, right? Everybody's kind of poo-pooing the Seagull from BYD. $12,000 for a credible low-end EV. You look at the high end of the market. I drove the Lotus Electre, which is really a Geely EV, the other day. Base price of $107,000. It is superior to the Lamborghini SUV, right? And that starts at what, $238,000? It's an electric car. It's going to get more gee whiz from your neighbors if you can actually buy one. Okay, 100% tariff. That's a lot. Puts it more in the price range. Prices out of the most of the people in the market. But the Chinese are credible, so it does protect the market where Biden is strategically trying to drive industry growth, where he's trying to drive transformation, probably the right thing for the economy. But it's noise for the sector right now. The Chinese are not selling it in any major way. Tesla needs to focus on being a car company and selling great cars and diversifying their lineup.
All right, Craig Irwin, always great to have you. Thanks so much for hopping on set with us here, Roth Capital Senior Research Analyst. Thanks,
Thank you.
Craig.
Hey.